Talk about those Senate races to watch on your screen is a look at 4 big ones. It'll be there soon, I promise. Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. Victories in any combination of those seats could mean highly sought after Senate control. Control of the House also hangs in the balance of this election cycle. As you look live at the U.S. Capitol, look at it standing there in all its grandeur. Looks wonderful. That is where we find our Tom Dempsey for a look at what the numbers are saying about congressional control. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Mitch. Yeah, with Election Day now less than 24 hours away, this morning Decision Desk HQ projects Republicans with a 56% chance of winning the Senate, and it's even greater odds for them to win control of the House. Winning control of Congress remains obviously the very biggest prize of election night. And as we get closer to that big night, I want our viewers to keep 2 numbers in mind, 5 and 1. If Republicans can win a net gain of just 5 seats in the House, they will win control of the House. And over in the Senate, with things split right now, Republicans need a net gain of just 1 seat to win control. Also keep in mind 3 dozen gubernatorial races will be happening, including in some battleground states and as state abortion rights remain in the spotlight. So what sort of things can we expect under a Republican Congress? Well, the party would be able to determine committees and what bills come to the floor. It would also stall President Biden's agenda on issues like abortion, climate change, and gun control. Republicans may also call for an investigation into the Afghanistan withdrawal or possibly Hunter Biden's business dealings. Also, another important fact here, history also remains sort of on the Republican side with, the party that controls the White House. Here in the modern area, almost every midterm election during the president's first term, the party that's held the White House has lost seats in Congress. So again, history remains on the side of the Republicans as we're getting set for Election Day, Mitch.
So, Tom, we're looking at Republican control of the House likely, Republican control of the Senate possible. What are some of the first things that might be done if Republicans take control of Congress?
Well, some Republicans have already hinted at that very question, Mitch. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy has said that he'll call for the repeal of the hiring surge we're seeing with the IRS is tied to the Inflation Reduction Act. We're talking about, over 80,000 IRS agents being hired. Kevin McCarthy says that won't happen if he becomes House Speaker. Meantime, Representative Elise Stefanik has said instead she hopes to see tens of thousands of police officers hired across the country. And that sort of, again, hints at, some of the big issues we could see Republicans try to tackle in their first few days and months in control of Congress if that happens. The economy and public safety figuring to be 2 very big issues they address, Mitch.
And, Tom, again, the House seems like a foregone conclusion, but the Senate could still remain within Democratic control. What happens if that happens? If the Democrats win the Senate, what do they plan to do?
Yeah, I mean, that's an important note right there. This forecasting is merely that. This is no, fact that anything is going to happen on Election Day. So, again, if we see, a Democrat-controlled Senate and maybe a Republican-controlled House, we could see, some of the squabbling that D.C. is famous for and also gridlock with legislation. And if we see sort of what seems like sort of the long shot at this point of Democrats keeping control of both the House and Senate, that's very good news for President Joe Biden and the future of his agenda in office during this first term, Mitch.
That is Tom Dempsey. He's reporting live in Washington, D.C. That's good news for all of you at home. Tom, thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation in your cable lineup. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-based, unbiased coverage.